Well, at least for me, it's morning. It's bright and early today, you guys. But I wanted to do another Get Ready With Me because I have quite a bit of products that I still want to share with you guys on La Cámara. And I'm hoping you guys are liking my Get Ready With Me's. Hold on, Mr. Man just texted me about breakfast. He's making me some eggs for breakfast, which is nice. Normally, I'm the one making breakfast. Anyway, so I'm going to try a few products and chit chat with you guys. Some of these products I've already shared with you guys in other videos, but I didn't get a chance to use them, so I wanted to use them here today and show you guys what they look like. So first, let's try this primer. I haven't tried this primer yet. This is the What's Up Beauty Positivity one. It's supposed to be hydrating and dewy, but because today, I'm only going to use this much. Today, we're still in August, and it's supposed to be a high of 74. What in the hootenannies? You guys, that's supposed to be this cold this time of year. But of course, Mother Nature has other plans for us. I'm going to try to avoid my nose because that's where I get the oiliest. But let's try here. Feels like lotion. It kind of feels like the Merit one that I shared with you guys, the last Get Ready With Me, but a little bit more tacky. Okay. Can you guys see that? It's a little bit dewy. It's not too much. I was expecting it to be more dewy, which is better for me because I don't like super dewiness, only in the wintertime, and that can get a little bit out of control for me. So now that we have that on, I'm just going to add a little bit of my pore filling one right here. So how have you guys been? You guys, we have about a week left before school starts. At least in our area, we don't start in August like most people do because as you can see, our summers are literally just June and July. Ain't no summer in August. We were cold last night. We went out to dinner last night as a family, and it was cold last night. I had a dress on, a long dress, and I was cold when we left the restaurant. And that was for dinner. This is why I'm like, I need to move to a warmer climate because I ain't handling this. Barely get a summer. But at least this summer, I got a nice tan. Let's see how long it lasts because I haven't really been outside since we came back from vacation. We've always been on the go, go, go. So what's new with you guys? Let's see. We have to go Christmas shopping. Can you hear me? We have to go clothes shopping for the kids. I went through all their drawers and I pulled out everything that didn't fit them and we donated them to a local church. So they have all that clothes, which is nice because it's a lot of winter clothes too. So it's perfect for those that are trying or need the help with clothing. At least we were able to do that. So I got rid of some. All three of my kids got rid of some. Mr. Man has not gone through his clothes. He rarely buys clothes, so he doesn't have to go through them as often. But the kids, at least the two youngest, my oldest basically has stopped growing. So she can now just use what she has and only like replace the things that are in dire need. But for now, she's okay, which is nice. So we only have to go school clothing shopping for two kids. And they are the ones that grow every 3 to 4 months. So it's very difficult, you guys, very difficult. Okay, you guys, so we're going to try this. I have been playing around with this foundation now for a few days. I've tried this multiple times. I wore this last night to dinner. These are the new Too Faced Soft Matte Oil Control Foundations. Really nice. These are very similar to the Urban Decay one that I used in my last video. The only difference is this one is just a tad bit heavier on the skin. Like you could see it more visibly on these areas. It's not as tinted as the other one. The other one's a little bit more runny in the sense of it doesn't look like heavy makeup on. This one can if you pack it on too much. So I like to use this with a beauty blender or a sponge to play it on, but it wears beautifully just the same. Both of the foundations from Urban Decay and Too Faced both wear beautifully throughout the day. They don't break down. They don't look blotchy or anything. They really wear beautifully. And this one is a soft matte because my oils break throughout the day and it looks like a glowy beautifulness. I love it. I do blot, but it's really, really pretty. I am a fan of this one too. So it says 24 hours, has hyaluronic acid in it, which makes sense as to why it doesn't feel so drying on the skin. But it's lightweight formula, helps control oil. Humidity resistant wear, sweat proof, waterproof. I will say it does, those claims are pretty good because I've been wearing it. I've worn them in the really, really hot days where I was outside gardening, outside doing clothes. It is a pump, unlike the one from Urban Decay, which is like a squeezy tube and you have to figure out how much you squeeze out. But you can see this one's more runny than the Urban Decay one. So this one's not as moussey as the Urban Decay one. So it's really, really nice. So I just put one pump and that's more than plenty and put it on. And I will show you guys what it looks like. But so far, both of the foundations that were sent to me, winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Really like both of them. They don't look super heavy. You can share them out. You can see it looks like skin again. It looks like skin. I love that. I love a foundation that can help with my oils, especially in the summertime, but it still looks like skin. This is why I'm a fan of the It Cosmetics CC cream, because that's what it does. And these are the same. I like them both. I like them both. And all three of these shades, believe it or not, they sent me 3 different shades. All 3 of them match me. It's just one's a tad bit lighter, one's a little bit more golden. So I put the one that's in the middle right now, just to share with you guys. But the darkest one that they sent me, the golden beige, does work for me because I have such a nice tan that it will work. But I decided to show you this one so you guys can see it firsthand. So you can see it up close. Can you guys see that? It looks really nice. I am a fan. I give this 2 thumbs up. If you have oily skin, I really like it. Even if you have drier skin, I think you might like this because it has hyaluronic acid and it doesn't look flat. It's not like Estee Lauder where it looks flat all day, but it does stay put, which I like. And nothing wrong with Estee Lauder because I love that one too, but sometimes you want to glow. I like my oils peeking through, and I think that would be really good. And I tested it out on dinner nights and it worked out awesome. So I love that one. So now we're going to go back to our usual. Where is you? Grab my hand thing. So guys, guess what? Our neighborhood is not a high turnaround neighborhood. When you purchase a house in our block, like, you're here for good. You're here for a long time because, one, these houses are not cheap. With the grace of God, with the blessing of God and his hand in and working it out for us, we were able to be in this neighborhood. If our home was not in the condition that it was when we bought it and fixed it up, we would have never been able to afford a house in this neighborhood. Let's just put it that way. Okay? We have one particular house in this neighborhood where we call it the McMansion, because it's over 6,000 square feet in our neighborhood. It has, and the reason why it's that big is because the previous owners added an in-law suite, which is like basically another house where they have a full kitchen, living room, dining room, the whole bit. So they have this attachment to this house that adds another like 3,000 square feet to it. Has an in-ground pool, has a deck. It's a really nice house. It has over an acre. So it's a decent house. Everyone in this neighborhood has a minimum of at least an acre. Some of us have more, some of us have just there. But, you know, the houses here are nice. Well, unfortunately, this house, as you guys can tell as me explaining it to you guys, it's a unique situation because of how this house is. It's pretty big. It's going to cost a lot to maintain. It's going to cost a lot to clean and service and all that stuff because it's a unique home. It's not for everybody. Oh, we're going to try this. I was just about to use this one, but we're not. They also sent me the powder. This powder is actually nice. It's not super heavy. I try to be gentle with it because it is a little bit drying. It's not like the Charlotte Tilbury one where it's like, it looks like skin. You can go overboard with this one, and I try not to because then that's where it looks heavy on my face. So I'm gently blotting it. You guys can see. Looks really nice. It looks nice, but it definitely mattifies. This is a mattifying, and it does look blurred, But if you go overboard, I can see texture in this area. So I do have to be careful with this powder. But it is really nice. I just like bounce it on without going overboard, but I do like it. This is something that I would prefer more in the summer than in the winter time. I actually like the Charlotte Tilbury more in the winter than I do in the summer, because in the summer I need something more mattifying, which I like that. So I also like this. It is pretty expensive though for a powder that only gives you 4.8 grams or 0.16 ounces. So I may go through this like crazy. I'm going to try to see, but you're not getting much. I don't know. I have to compare it. Let me see what Charlotte Tilbury brings. 8 grams. So you're getting 4 grams here, 8 grams here. And if you go rather quickly with this one, I can only imagine this one. But again, this one, I don't feel like I put as much on because it's heavier looking on the skin than it is the Charlotte Tilbury one. For reference, I'm not saying it's super heavy either, because you can go light-handed with it and it looks okay. All right, so now we're going to use our regular stuff. So anyway, so back to the story. So when we moved into this house, that house went up for sale because the people that lived there, their family members either passed away, moved on, so they didn't need such a big home. But it was on the market, you guys. The house was on the market for over a year for sale because, again, it's a unique circumstance for that specific home. So it had to be a specific kind of family that was going to purchase that house because of how it is. It's not like just a big 6,000 square foot house. No, it has like, it's weird too because the layout has a bunch of drops. Like you go up 2 steps to go to one level and then you drop 2 more to go to this specific room, go back up to go to another room. It's really unique. Let's just put it that way. So anyway, so after a little over a year, this family came in, and it was a family that was, I don't know if they were married, but I'm just going to say like husband and wife, and they had 3 kids, and they came in with 4 senior citizens and bought this house. So we all knew, like you can guess that it was the senior citizens with the money. So we were like, oh, this is not going to come out good. We all thought as neighbors, we're like, oh, okay. Doesn't look like the husband and wife are the ones that have the money. It's more of like the grandparents who either are retired and have money or whatever the case may be, right? So the grandparents were the ones living in the in-law suite, and the family of 5 was living in the house. Within a month or so, they ended up buying 2 dogs. And this is where we saw the red flags, because the mom of the house, this is probably one of the few times I ever see her out, and she came over to our house and was like, oh, well, we went out to get a dog. Now, mind you, you could tell like this family has not really lived in a home. It's maybe apartment living or condo living, like not in an actual home, because of how she spoke. So we're like, okay, well, maybe this is their first home. I'm going to use my e.l.f. blush. In what color are we? I don't know if this might be too dark, but we're going to do it anyway. It doesn't, a Bali. This was something I got in Florida as a gift, so we're going to try it out. So anyway, so she came over with 2 dogs. So we're like, oh, okay. So she proceeds to say, yeah, we wanted a dog since now we have a home. And we went to they drove all the way to New York for this breeder for border collies. And she said, we went up and we picked out our dog, and then we felt bad because there was 1 dog left. So we said, why not? We'll buy it too. And I'm just like, typically you know what you can handle. I could not handle 2 puppies in one shot unless like I'm by myself and I have no kids. Like, you just bought this big house that you're getting used to, and you decided not only 1 but 2 dogs. And if you know anything about border collies, they're very, very intelligent dogs. They're very hyper. They need constant direction and play, because if not, they become very destructive. And unfortunately, that's how these dogs ended up turning out, because they were very aggressive dogs. They would always get out of their house. I never saw the family walk them. I think the kids tried to walk them when they first got the dogs, and then because they couldn't control them, they never did it again. And these dogs lived in this house. So I can only imagine how destructive these dogs became. And I'm only saying that because now we're seeing the aftermath. But anyway, so I would never have done that, but you could tell like she was more of gloating than anything. So obviously the first year that they lived there, they had landscaping company. They had a pool guy come in. We heard them in the pool. Like everything was all nice and dandy. We're like, oh, okay. This is going good. This is going good. Let me just do my eyebrows and I'll be right back. Okay. So back to my story. Now that my eyebrows are done. So everything was good and dandy for the first year they lived there. Kids were going into the school system because for a while they weren't. Like I guess they finished school where they came from because of when they moved in. Because they moved in like in the middle of winter. So I guess they finished off the year wherever they were at. So that following year the kids got into the school system. And then we started noticing that the mom of the house never came out. Like I think that the first and only time I ever saw her was when she came over to my house to show us the dogs. After that, we had never seen her again. Like she didn't work. She stayed home. I guess she took care of the grandparents. But as time passed, because they only lived there a total of 3 years. That's it, you guys. And as time passed, we kept seeing ambulances at their house and the police at their house. So we knew that the grandparents weren't doing well. At the end, out of the 4 grandparents, only 1 now is surviving. The other 3 passed away during this whole process. So we knew that they were getting in trouble. Once they started to go, we're like, because we all assumed that it was probably the grandparents who helped him out because he just had a security job. He was a security guard somewhere. And his wife didn't work. So we figured, okay, well, how else are you able to afford this house? Like this house is triple, like almost more like 3 times the size of mine. So it's pretty big. And so we're trying not to judge, but you put 2 and 2 together. So, they're having trouble with that. And then there is a moment where the neighbor, he comes over to the neighborhood and says that he has an uncle where he had to call the cops on because he came over and was like yelling and screaming and telling like he needs something to the effect of like I guess the uncle was telling them that he shouldn't be living in this house and he's taking his mother's money. At the end of the day, his mom was the only one living and surviving. And we're all going to guess that she's the one that had the money because this uncle, which was her brother, came to the house and was like threatening them and whatever. So they had to call the cops on this uncle. So he had explained to all of us, like, if we saw this uncle in his property, we had to call the cops basically, or let him know because he wasn't allowed on the property. We all found that a little bit fishy. Okay, you guys, for the eyes, I want to try these as well as the Alter Ego palette. Now, I'm going to do it with all of these because I have a feeling that this might turn out really nice. So for these, I am actually these are their new eye paints. I haven't tried them yet. I haven't played around with them yet. This is the color Cake. So they sent over 7 shades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. 7 shades, which are really, really nice and fun. So we might end up doing like an inner corner yellow. So for the lid, okay, so I'm going to use this one for the crease and on the lid because this looks like it might be like a warmish color. My only gripe with this palette right now, not overall, but right now, it's too cool tone for me. I've played around with this multiple times already. I think I've worn this 3 to 4 times already on my own, including last night, and I feel like the looks are coming out too cool tone for my liking. This is the only row for me, like these 4 shades, or maybe even this one. The rest is all too cool tone, and it looks, because I'm so dark right now, it looks very icy and silvery, and I don't like it. I like warm tones right now. So I'm trying to add this to the mix, and maybe it'll help with what it is. So we're going to try this out. I have not played around with this. Let me see, do I have a brush? Okay, so we're going to try this out. I have not tried it at all. So we're all going to try it together. So we unscrew it. Oh, it's like a paddle. Okay. Okay, I could do this. I could do this. It's like a liquid eyeshadow. Hold on to this. Okay. I like. So far it's looking nice. Sometimes it like sets too fast and then you can't work with it, but this one looks nice and you could build it up because it is sheer. I actually like this for work purposes, quick and easy and to the point. I like this. Okay, hard candy, you won me over with these. Let's see how they last on the eyes. It looks like they set really nicely and you can build them up. That's what I was hoping for. Oh, one of these. Get off of there. There we go. I wanted to test out if you could layer these because sometimes layering doesn't work as nice. They like pick up. Not these. These look really nice. All right, these look promising. So I'm just gonna do the other eye. So anyway, so we already found it fishy that he's telling us that his own family is trying to do something. So we just let it go, whatever. As the year went by, we noticed that their kids were like, she was never outside. None of them were outside, neither parents or nobody. I would see one grandmother always walking with the girls. They had two girls. And then that stopped after a while. So we assumed she passed away. And then the girls would just be on their own. I mean, like wandering the streets on their own. And these girls were like in 10, no, they were like 11 to 12 years old. I would never let my 11, 12-year-old just wander the neighborhoods. Like they didn't stay in this neighborhood. Like they went elsewhere. I was very thankful that one of our neighbors, she has a daughter who's a little bit younger, but she like kind of welcomed them in. So the girls would always be at her house playing. So we would always see them playing over there, which was really nice because she was looking out for them because the mom was not looking out for them at all. Let's see. What should we do for this? Now that we have this, I don't need anything for the eyeshadow lid. Let's go with, let me see. Let's do Gleam. I'm going to do Gleam. Hopefully that won't be too cool toned, but we'll see. So anyway, oh, that does look nice. See, that did help. Took out more warmth out of that. So the girls would be wandering. We would never see the son, who was at this point in high school, out. And then the house started to go. The first year is the only year we saw them in the pool or heard them in the pool. We never heard them in the pool again. Landscaping went to crap. They never had landscapers come anymore. The grass was overgrown. The bushes and anything that had to do with the flowers, unattended to. Dogs we never saw again. They would just constantly bark in the backyard. Yes, the neighbors that lived next to them would complain about it because they had newborn, and the dogs would dig under their fence and get into their yard so they couldn't be outside in their yard. It was like a hot mess. It was a hot mess. So we knew something was going on, like trouble and stuff. And then they had other situations come up, which I'm not going to say because it's a little bit sad. But we could tell like they were hard on money. They couldn't do anything. Come fast forward now to this summer. And I'm going to use this color on my lower lash line called Embrace just to keep it warmed up a little bit. And these are the new brushes. By the way, I should have showed you. These are the new brushes that they sent over by Alter Ego. Like I mentioned in my last video, these are very, very similar to the Angie Hot Flashy collab with BK Beauty, even to the color and the number, everything. They're really good. I've already washed them and played with them, and they're really good. They're a nice dupe. So anyway, so fast forward to now, we're in Florida, right, on our vacation, and we constantly see a bunch of like, our cameras keep going off, and we constantly seeing cars. So we're asked our neighbor, like, what's going on? We're away, and is something going on that we're not aware of? Because should we have somebody come to the house? You know what I mean? Kind of find out they're having an estate sale because they're moving. They're leaving. What we ended up being told was that the uncle, so the one living grandparent was his mother, the guy of the house. And she ended up getting dementia and is in a nursing home currently. And the uncle, which was her brother, ended up getting power of attorney and was kicking everybody out of the house. He was kicking everybody out of the house because they weren't taking care of the house. And now that he was around, he was going to make sure that it was gotten taken care of, and then he wants to just clean it up and then sell it. So when we were in Florida, we kept seeing that, and that, come to find out, they were having an estate sale. So they were selling everything they possibly could out of this house to try to move and go, because they just couldn't afford to move. They found a place about an hour away from here, so they're no longer living anywhere near us. And they ended up having to vacate the house by the 15th of August, so they're already gone. And literally that Monday, there was roofers at the house, gutter people picking up garbage, because as they were moving, they literally piled their whole entire driveway with trash. And us as neighbors were concerned with the rodents and things, so we asked them, like, are you going to clean up that? And then we actually went out of our way to reach out how much it was to get that cleaned up. We told them, this is how much it's going to cost you to have our garbage company clean up this mess. And he's like, okay, well, I'll take care of it. He left the whole garbage there. One of the neighbors spoke to the uncle. The uncle's like, no, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. So the garbage is now gone, because we were afraid of like rats and stuff just living there, raccoons, because it has happened before. And they have been there since. You hear all the fixing up. Apparently the uncle said to one of our neighbors that the house was a mess. So in the main kitchen, the roof caved in and it was leaking. They were living that way. There was trash everywhere. The dogs messed up the whole entire house. They left clutter everywhere. I mean, it was just like garbage. They really ruined that house, according to the uncle. And we could tell because of the amount of people that they had. They had a pest control there yesterday. They had people working like all day long for the last few days on the roof to fix that, I guess, all the leaks and things. They had a guy with a trailer full of garbage that they took out, not only from the outside of the house, but in the inside of the house. So I can only imagine what they were living like, and I felt bad because they had kids. And now the girls are going into middle school. The oldest is going to his second year of high school. So like that affects you. And I'm only speaking from experience, not that that's what happened to us, because the only thing that we had stable in our lives was the home we lived in. I can say from the time I was 6 till the time I moved out with Mr. Man, we always lived in the same house. So I can't say that, we jumped to house to house to house, and that affects you, because I never experienced that. But I can say that an unstable home with a lot of issues like that, yelling between families, that's not healthy for kids at all. So I feel bad for the children. I'm going to grab this color named Trip and put it in the inner corner. So we don't know what's going to happen to this home. And the thing is that, ooh, I like that. And the thing is that it took a really long time for it to sell already the first time, because we were here when that was happening. It took over a year for a unique family. So I'm hoping that the uncle understands that he ain't selling that anytime soon, especially now with the market. That house, I looked it up. That house, when they bought it 3-4 years ago, they bought that house for a little over $500,000. So now it's probably worth $750,000, $800,000. I don't know, around there at the low ball end of it. That's low balling it. So you're going to have to find somebody with money in this day and age and that has the capacity to maintain that house, because you also got to consider not only buying the house, you got to heat it, air condition it, maintain the pool, maintain the landscaping, all that cleaning in that house, furnishing that house is pretty big. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And I don't know. So eventually we're going to get new neighbors. It's just, I don't know who and when that'll happen. I just prayed for that family to be able to find a home and be able to have something for themselves, because till this day, I never saw the woman. Like when they were moving out their things and stuff, I saw the husband, the dad. We wished him well. We said, good luck with everything. We saw the kids, all 3 kids. We never saw her. I don't know. Is this a murder mystery? Is she missing? I don't know. We never saw her move. We never saw her help move. We never saw her leave the house. We never saw her come to the, like, I don't know anything. Whatever happened to her, I don't know. I only saw her once in my life. One time for those years that they lived there. One and only one time. She never came out with the kids. She never hung out when it was like neighborhood thing. Nothing. I don't know. Anyway. So I just put a lip gloss on just because it's morning. I'm going to have my breakfast and then I'll put on my lip because I do have my lip here. I want to wear Velvet Teddy today. So I will wear it, but just for now, I'm just doing this. Okay, so let's do a quick roundup. This looks like it's good. It's not super glowy, which I thought it was, but throughout the day, we'll see how it works with the foundation. Foundation I'm already a fan of. I love this. I've worn this multiple times, so I already know I am a fan of this. I really do like it. Now let's see how these two work together, because if this works with this, I might like it even more. You never know. You never know, you guys. This palette. This is the palette. See how pretty it looks? So my gripe right now with it is I just can't rock it right now. I would have to wait till my tan subsides in order for me to pull this back out because it's very cool toned. I see a truck coming to the house. Distractions. These 4 shades are the only, or like this right here is the only things I can use right now because everything else looks way too icy, way too good. Look, I'll show you. I will show you this color named Lucid. Look how cool tone that is. It's just, I don't want to wear that right now. It's just too cool tone for me. I want to wear warm tones right now that I have a tan in the winter times where I want to wear it. So this is something that I'm going to pull out in the winter time, more to use. But I will say that these sparkly shades are gorgeous. The 3 times that I have worn this palette, I've worn it in the heat where it was really hot. It did not crease on me. It did not fade on me. The glistening glitter did not go all over the face. It stayed where it was and it looked beautiful because my oils peeked through and it looked very nice and glossy on my eyes without it creasing, surprisingly. So yeah, overall I still do like it. I love the finish of it. I love everything about it, just that it doesn't work for me right now. I just am stuck with 5 shades out of the 15 in here. Is it 15? 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, out of the 15. So I can't wear this yet. I have to hold off on it. As far as these go, these are fun. Whoop, there goes one on the ground. These are fun. I really like these. These are something that I would love to use often. Like that color. What are you? Where are you at? Where are you at, Cake? This color in Cake. Oh, this is going to be my go-to. I love this. I love these. This color in the inner corner, you can really make it stand out or you can make it like that. It's really, these are very universal and diverse and different. You can use these as eyeliners, lower lash line, as a base. You could see that they set. I was able to blend them out. I was able to layer them. That is saying a lot because some things I cannot. It'll pick up, it'll flake, it'll dry too thick. No, this was perfect. Great job on these hard candy because these are really nice. I like those. I thought I was going to give some to my daughter, but I don't think I'm going to give her any because those are really, really nice. And then what else did I have? Did I have anything else? Because last time, oh yes, I knew last time I had forgotten to tell you guys an update on something. And then this, you guys. I like it in the summer. I think I would like this more in the summer. See how it's like a little bit thicker? Like if I were to, it's a little bit more on the thicker side. See the difference between these two? I feel like this one's a lot more smooth, the Charlotte Tilbury, and this one's a lot more thicker in its, yeah, you could tell. This is Charlotte Tilbury and this is Too Faced. Even just swatching them, I could feel the coarseness in the Too Faced versus the smoothness in the Charlotte Tilbury. So you could see that this is very opaque. I just gotta, it's a gentle dusting. I can't pack it on because it will look thick and heavy. So that's the only downside with that one. So I will probably pull this out in the summertime. They sent me medium, so I can only imagine how light the light is because that medium works fine for me right now. So that's what I have so far. I think at this point I've shared with you guys everything that I've gotten in PR. So I'm up to date. You guys. So exciting. All right, you guys, that's all that I have. I will do my best to link everything down in the description box. Let me know in the comment section what Get Ready With Me do you guys want to hear next. I have plenty of stories to tell you guys. Plenty of stories, so I can sit here and chit chat to you guys. All right, guys, that's all that I have. A video on the screen for you to enjoy. Until then,